TE are listening to all our conversations. And I think the ATU should be able to give us maybe a position. Maybe you can find that out for us so that the member states and all the operators can be able to have a position. As it stands, I think Germany has a view. The Czech Republic has come out with their views. America has their view. Australia. As Africa, then we should also have our view, because I believe those companies are major companies in Africa, providing these services, including mobile money services, and so I believe as a union we should be able to maybe, as a first request, as you take office, to be able to give us a position on this. I don't know, SG, you haven't handed over yet, whether that is whether it is one of the appropriate things, I think, for us to do, because I think it should be really at the ATU level where we start giving also our own position. We should not only be consuming from everybody else. So John, over to you. As our heads of state have come together and have agreed that as a continent we need to have one voice, we need to be unified, and are therefore pushing very hard for the continental free trade area, which will allow us to have a significant say in the world, and will allow our citizens also to be able to participate and work together. I think gone are the days when if East Africa needed to communicate with West Africa, you have to go through Europe. We want to make sure that now we have direct linkages and communication across, and our heads of state are clearly showing us that we need to also grow the amount of local traffic, local communication, and as much as possible using technology, eliminate the many boundaries that we have amongst our people, some of which are artificial boundaries. When I look at between, say, Kenya and Tanzania, the Maasai don't actually recognize that that border. In fact, one of our former vice president's relatives are also in Uganda, in the government in Uganda, elected. So in a sense, we are one community, and it's our hope that we will continue using technology, using the goodwill that we have from our leaders to ensure that we create that single market, and Africa then has a significant voice. I hasten to say that even with Smart Africa, the technologies that have been put in to create the single digital market, the 24 countries that have signed up are now at 600 million in terms of the population. That is maybe twice the population of America. So it's a significant market. We need to ensure that we are also at the front line of making sure now the technologies and services that are to be introduced, we are there. ATU has a big role to play, especially now as we move in ensuring that we have interconnectivity on the data networks, on mobile networks. We need to see the same even on mobile money. The experience we've seen here in Kenya right now, just on two banks with the mobile money services they have, this is KCB and CBA. They're lending to small businesses about 16 billion shillings per month. That's a huge amount of money. We are almost talking of close to 200 billion, which is almost similar to what the increase in all the banks, the 43 banks that we have. So many of the consumers are moving to mobile and are using that for everyday life. They're borrowing sometimes 2 or 3 times a day on their mobile phone and repaying. So the financial inclusion and many of the other services that are required lie on these platforms that we need to build. So we need to ensure that as we grow, we are also, at the forefront of introduction of new technologies. 5G should be piloted and tested in Africa. Why not? We are producing a lot of raw materials for the rest of the world. We should start also processing and adding value to many of those.
I think for us, as we said, it's a great pleasure for us to see that many African countries are today together to help the development of ICT together, whether it can be on ATU or can be on AUC or Smart Africa or those RECs. I think it's a great achievement for us today. We know that ICT play a key role, and our role as the ATU is to continue to push member states to see that how ICT can help, as the minister said, that in terms of the services. I think this is what we want to see, the role of ICT, and the role of ATU today is to be involved of that. So I think my young brother, because I know he is younger than me, my young brother, I want just to welcome you again to ATU. We already meet with him in the morning where we pass him through many issues, and I believe that ATU itself is not new for him. He already attend many meetings, and even he is mostly attend the ATU council, so he know all the situation of the institution. So the only thing that we said for him here is just we pray to him to be sure that the success for the institution, the success of all those people who are going to work with him, because we say that you can never work alone. So it's good for you to always rely on your people, rely on your experts. I think it's very important, and you have the chance that I think we did a great job of them. I want to thank them again, and I told him I leave you with those people, take them as your family, and be sure that they will not miss anything that if you want to succeed.
And I can confirm, Chair, that following this inauguration, I have the instruments that will enable me to deliver my mandate as the incoming Secretary General. My feeling is that including some of the things that you yourself, CPL Chair, have said, that we are coming in when Africa has a lot of challenges, and part of what you indicated was mooted in the corridors outside of the ITU PP in Dubai just last month. But even then, a couple of other issues come to bear when we think of the ICT landscape in Africa. And some of those issues we could not agree, including negotiating the whole day, the whole night until 6:30 in the morning, including internet public policy issues and Internet of Things, how we should play in the arena of artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, in as far as communications is concerned, the security and interoperability of networks, which is where the issue that you yourself mentioned fall under. That is, how do networks talk to each other? Is it possible that a manufacturer of equipment can then, after having sold equipment to an operator, still listen in terms of what that particular operator is doing? And the role of governments and regional organizations, including, for example, test labs in Africa, where Africa can agree on certain standards and ensure that we approach international manufacturers of equipment with the
Handover.
There's quite a lot of politics to it, and sometimes.
And that's why we need to be.
We made fun that in Kenya, we just need a Kenyan lady in order to become.
Oh, it means that even me, I have to go with someone in my country. SG of ATU.
So we get the PS to give her welcome remarks.
And tell him that today is 2000. Keep the house of the African countries, and I believe